Now, we did get a majorly viral video that went across all of, X, Instagram, YouTube, of a, I believe, college professor, possibly, going back and forth with a student over J.K. Rowling and giving him a lesson in critical thinking. And these are the teachers that I see where I'm just like, chef's kiss. I'm so glad people like this still exist and they're still choosing to go into education. Because another big problem that we're going to have in education is real good teachers and educators do not want to be there anymore, and they're leaving the space rather than standing there and fighting upstream when it comes to enabling kids with and arming them with critical thinking skills. So let's watch this clip. It got 35 million views, and it's so funny because really this discussion is very, very simple, but it's a discussion that many are choosing not to have in this modern age. Let's watch.
So these guys want to talk about J.K. Rowling? Is that so? What's going on with that? What do you want to know?
She's had a pretty controversial past. I just want to know, what are your thoughts on it? And, do you still like her work despite her bigoted opinions?
So let's get specific, though. Let's define bigoted opinions. What opinions are bigoted? We're going to treat this as a thought experiment. I'm not going to say what's right or wrong or what way to think. The whole point is to learn how to think, not what to think.
Yeah.
So when you say bigot, you're starting with the conclusion that given her bigoted opinions.
Yeah.
So first, let's start with, does she have bigoted opinions? So when you say bigoted opinions,
she has had a history of being extremely transphobic, I've heard.
Hey, you've heard. So what? Can you give me an example?
If you look at her Twitter, I think you could see a few things. If you want, I could try and find
see
something.
See if you can find one.
So, one of these tweets that she came out with in 2019, she said, "Dress however you please, call yourself whatever you like, sleep with any consenting adult who will have you live your best life in peace and security, but force women out of their jobs for stating that sex is real."
So you find that bigoted? What do you find about
it was
in there?
It was deemed transphobic. I myself.
Do you find that transphobic yourself?
I don't really have an opinion on it, but I'm just going with what a lot of other people have said.
So let's pause there. Let's not go with what other people are saying. Let's try and learn how to critically think. So let's analyze the tweet ourselves. So that statement, do you see anything problematic? Disregarding other people's opinions.
She did try and pin some things on a specific group of people.
Where does she do that? Can you read that?
But force women out of their jobs for stating that sex is real.
So when I hear that, I'm interpreting that as meaning if a woman says that, saying that there's a difference between men and female and then being attacked as transphobic, I think that's what she's saying by attacking someone for stating that sex is real.
That is exactly what she's saying.
Is that transphobic to you?
So, to me, no. Stating that sex is real is not transphobic. It's just a fact of life. It exists.
So is there anything you disagree with in that tweet?
In that tweet, I can't really see anything that I myself disagree with, but I can see why some people would think, oh, this is offensive. We can't have that here or something, because...
Sure.
There's an apology tweet.
Let's read that. What did she say there? I haven't read that.
"I respect every trans person's right to live any way that feels authentic and comfortable to them. I'd march with you if you were discriminated against on the basis of being trans. At the same time, my life has been shaped by being female. I do not believe it is hateful to say so."
You see anything problematic there?
She's apologizing, so no, not really. If I could read it again.
It sounds like a very similar statement as what she was just saying. She's basically saying, I have nothing, to me, this is what I interpret it as, I have nothing against someone being trans.
Exactly.
It's your life, but you just don't get to impose on you can live how you want, I can live how I want.
Yeah.
And let's all,
Exactly.
So I guess now that we're looking at it there's not much difference between me or her, do you think it's fair that that she's being attacked by a large group of people, and people are calling her, like you said at the beginning of this conversation, you said, given the fact that J.K. Rowling is transphobic, how do you feel about Harry Potter? Now, retroactively looking at that statement, do you think that that was the best way to phrase?
No, I feel like an idiot now.
It's okay though, but this is why we do this, to learn how to think.
Are you kidding me? Masterful. Let me just say, masterful on so many levels. Also, shout out to the student who he's talking to for being honest and allowing, somebody to give you questions and lead you down a path to making your own discovery. And here's why what that teacher did is so great. He remained calm. He wasn't argumentative. He said, okay, I'm understanding what you're saying. Let's unpack that a little bit. Can you give me examples of something that she said that you deem to be transphobic? And immediately he didn't have that. Now, you could have attacked him on that point. You could have said, oh, so you don't have an example to give me of her being transphobic. He said, no. Pull out your phone, let's go to her Twitter, let's look for some examples because I really want to give you your best shot here at making your claim. I'll give you the time to do that. The student takes the time to look, pulls out some weak examples, but acknowledges that they are weak examples. And the teacher at every turn makes it very clear what are his opinions, what are his interpretations, and then throws the question back to the student. How do you interpret that? How do you view it? When you give somebody ample space to really express their views, express why they've said something that they've said, they can lead themselves down the path of discovery to recognizing that maybe their views are not, strongly held. Maybe they are being influenced by outside forces. And that's exactly what happened with this student. Really wonderful to watch somebody just calmly take the time to do a practice in critical thinking because you so rarely get that. I think nowadays you get, look at, this teacher destroy a student on J.K. Rowling, or this student gets owned in front of the whole class when talking about transphobia. And that's cool. It's often a fun thing to see somebody who you disagree with be put in their place. But I think better than that is to allow somebody ample space to discover that their opinion is wrong, because you can leave that conversation saying, I thought J.K. Rowling was transphobic and my teacher told me that that was incorrect. But I think this student is going to leave that conversation saying, I thought J.K. Rowling was transphobic and I realized that it was wrong because somebody allowed him space to realize it. And that's why that video got 35 million views, because you don't hear conversations like this anymore. And it's really sad that something like this goes so viral, but also I'm ecstatic to watch a teacher who stands firm, stands on business in talking about these issues.